Losing is a part of basketball, but some teams do it more than others. So much that they are synonymous with losing. The Clippers were often mocked for their inability to win, especially in the 1990s, but they seem to have recovered after being sold. So who is the NBA's worst team? Today, we're going to dive right into that. And that franchise is the Sacramento Kings. They're the NBA's oldest club, founded in the 1920s in upstate New York, but the Kings have been bad for practically their entire NBA existence. The Kings, or Royals, were one of the finest NBA teams invited to join the league in 1947, a year after it began. The Royals had initial success, winning the NBA title in 1951, and this is where the Kings franchise goes south. The team relocated to Cincinnati, Ohio in 1957, where they spent 15 seasons before moving to Kansas City in 1972. From 72 to 75, the Kings played in both Kansas City and Omaha. 1975 saw the Kings stay put in Kansas City. In 1985, the franchise relocated to Sacramento, where it has operated since. The franchise has been in upheaval, with rumors of a transfer to Seattle or Las Vegas. Since leaving Rochester, the Kings have struggled to win. The Royals made the playoffs 7 of 9 years in Rochester and won their sole championship. Cincinnati made it 7 times in 15 seasons, 6 of them under Oscar Robertson. They only made the playoffs 5 times in Kansas City and then 10 times since moving to Sacramento in 1985, 8 of which were in the early 2000s. Despite their futility, they have won an NBA championship, while 9 other active organizations haven't. They had 7 50-win seasons and another championship if you count their NBL days. But what about the Hornets? They've been bad since they resurrected as the Bobcats in the early 2000s. If we only consider the past then, they have a strong case. But they are a newer squad with a good Hornets past. The original Hornets had some success in the 1990s, but have never progressed past the second round. The Hornets have sucked since moving to New Orleans when the league reset their history and became the Bobcats. They haven't won 50 games since 1998 and won 62 games in 3 years. The Hornets do have a strong case, but they earned credit for being good in the 90s and slack for the relocation fiasco. So what about the Timberwolves? With a similar run to the Kings in the early 2000s and even a Western Conference final appearance, some may question the Wolves' ranking. They're below the Kings since that's where their NBA history ends. A terrific season in 2004, the Timberwolves won 58 games, took the Western Conference title, and Kevin Garnett was awarded league MVP. But that's all this franchise has done in its 30 years. Other than that, the Wolves have only won 2 postseason series, both in 2004. The Wolves have only made the playoffs once since the Garnett era from 1997 to 2004, and that was in 2018. Only 8 times in their history have the Wolves finished above 500. It's 976 wins that puts them 26th all-time, barely ahead of the Toronto Raptors, Memphis Grizzlies, and New Orleans Pelicans. The Raptors should pass the Timberwolves in the 2020 season or 2021. Their 31 victories per season is the NBA's lowest. The Clippers are 33 while the Kings are 36. The Raptors average 37 victories, the Grizzlies 33, and the Pelicans 37. The Wolves have the NBA's poorest franchise win percentage at .397, followed by the Rockets at .409. They also have the NBA's worst playoff victory percentage at .346. The Wolves are 18-34 in the playoffs, excluding 2004 when they went 8-8, for a .277 winning percentage. Kevin Garnett is the organization's most popular player and was picked in 1995, one of the rare times when the franchise got it all right. He made them competitive for a few seasons, but beyond KG, the Wolves' personal choices ranged from problematic to horrible. The Joe Smith signing catastrophe was one of the most notable incidents in team history, and it likely contributed to them being the worst in NBA history. He would re-sign with them for smaller sums every year until they secured his bid rights and paid him more than he was worth. The NBA canceled the contract, suspended ownership and management, and made the team forfeit several years' worth of first-round picks. The Timberwolves have yet to recover from this catastrophe. The T-Wolves were on their way to being a good franchise before Joe Smith. With KG in his prime and a number of other talented players, they had produced their best season ever. Instead, they lost multiple years of picks, expensive and injury-prone parts, and KG was moved to Boston for Al Jefferson and bits. This was a never-ending cycle of KG rebuilds. The Wolves would first rebuild around Al Jefferson, a promising center who had shown some potential. For not after an injury and several bad seasons, the Wolves traded Jefferson to the Jazz. Bad clubs picked poorly, and the Wolves may be the worst drafting team in any sport in the last quarter century. The draft has been this team's Achilles heel, and they rarely get it right and often miss out on outstanding players. Karl-Anthony Towns appears to be the best player that the Wolves have chosen since Kevin Garnett. Yikes. When an NBA team loses a game, their fans expect a high draft pick and an interesting talent to watch develop, but the Wolves have displayed absolute incompetence in the draft and player management. The T-Wolves have also struggled to produce talent. Only Garnett, Kevin Love, and Karl-Anthony Towns have made the All-Star game out of the T-Wolves' 21 lottery picks. 7 T-Wolves have been selected to the NBA All-Star game, totaling 20 appearances, with KG making 10 and Kevin Love making 3. Neither have the T-Wolves. They recently traded lottery picks Chris Dunn and Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler, only to trade Butler for less. This is nothing new for this organization. They did it to KG and Al Jefferson. It's probable that the Wolves will enter another rebuilding stage soon, as they're currently toward the bottom of the Western Conference and are expected to finish there again. Glenn Taylor may be best served by selling the Wolves. Like the T-Wolves, the Knicks have had a horrible owner. The Clippers and Warriors had this difficulty before being sold and are now among the league's most popular franchises. Yes, Minneapolis is cold, yet the Vikings and Twins seem to do a lot better in competition. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a video. We'll see you guys next time.